Hello, seawolves! Wow, it feels good to say that again after I think almost 2 weeks of me taking a little break from all the vlogging and doing, working on some of my other projects. Thank you all for all the supportive mails and comments. Where are you, Florian? What is going on? Don't worry, wolves. I'm all good and very happy to restart the vlogging. But I needed to, take a step back. In a way, I kind of ran my own Vendee Globe, just getting the news out there every day, and I needed to get a bit involved in some other projects which really needed my attention a little bit. So thank you all for your understanding, and no worries, the Sea Wolves will continue. And of course, one thing that I really missed, I honestly think that it had become a little bit of an addiction for me also, because it really took a lot of effort for me not to vlog and actually do the toast with you that I've gotten so accustomed to every day. But I guess it's time to do it again. Here we go. 6-7 minute brood, of course. And by the way, I finally got the actual hoodie also, and it is amazing. Like I didn't know, but amazing fleece. I've been literally wearing this for like 2 weeks straight or something since I've gotten it, and it's actually really great fleece. So this one I can personally review and recommend. It's awesome. Are you ready for this, Sea Wolves? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Got the speed now. Boom, pretty nice. Big one. Good old sailing fun. Wow, that helps to steer the world a little bit in a better direction, don't you think? So let's get started. I have actually quite a few races that I want to discuss with you. I kind of want to do a races to look forward to for the coming season, for the coming time. We'll also talk a little bit about some of them that got canceled due to the whole Corona thing. But I think it's kind of cool to look forward at all the different things that we have to look forward to in this season, because there are quite a few things coming up. Also some news on some of the things that I've been working on, with the childhood team and the Europe race and things coming up there, which I think are going to be really cool, and we're going to be really kind of inside the race there with the Sea Wolves also. So that's going to hopefully create some very cool, very technical, very in-depth videos and experiences from that race.
Here we are in our storage loft. As you can see, there are heaps of sails, and we already selected the sails we're going to sail with in the new season 21. But also you can see all the rigging lines, and this on this side is all we're going to sail with in the new year. And this on the other side is all the spares of ropes. As you can see, a lot of ropes on the Volvo 65. Next to that, we also have the freshly washed sleeping bags, some life jackets we're doing some maintenance with, battens, pretty long battens of sails, the main sail. And what do we have more? Yeah, as you can see, a lot of folded sails, sail bags, and here you see some more small rigging details. So here we are at the back of the boat, and as you can see, we're doing some maintenance to the boat. For example, Ariane is doing the steering wheel, and we took all the winches off and we serviced them inside the container to get them as clean as possible, so that everything works really smoothly next year. Not next year, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks time when we launch the boat. And here the inside of the boat, it's a bit dark now. Nothing special, also doing some maintenance to the engine, to the batteries, etc.
so that's going to be really, really cool. But for now, I want to start with the Vendee Globe, because it ain't over till it's over. And right now we have Ari Huusela just about 2 days away from the finish on board Stark Imoca, and he made another, maybe his one before last updates this morning. So let's get started and hop on board of Imoca Stark and see how Ari is doing today.
Hi all, and welcome back on Stark Imoca during Vendee Globe. It's now 2nd of March and Tuesday morning. Night was really light. I had to stay awake, didn't have good rest because I had to adjust the sails and the course and trying to keep the boat on moving. But anyway, during the morning I got some rest, and today it looks like I can rest a bit more. And I just made a routing, and as you can see, the light winds still continue. It's a really light wind area here, and later today in the evening I should get some 10 to 15 knots of wind, and which lasts until Thursday. And then during Thursday there is again in 12 hours very light wind spot. But routing is quite optimistic. It says that I should be on the finish line on the best at Friday afternoon, but we will see how this works out. I have made the calculations with 70% of my full performance, so it should be quite realistic if the forecasts are realistic. But all good on board. Everything works nicely. I've prepared my spot where I'm going to spend my most of the day here outside, and it's much better than staying inside. And guess what? We have sun. It's been such a long time before, maybe 3-4 days ago when I had good sunshine, so now it looks good, sunny, and makes of course life warmer and nicer on board. But yeah, all good aboard. Still eagerly waiting for the finish line to get back on the land to see closest ones and have a decent good food. But I just try to concentrate because it's gonna be quite hard still. But greetings from super happy sailor, and enjoy your Tuesday and see you soon on board again. Ciao ciao.
So nice. I really like especially that final bit where he kind of wants to just kind of sign off and keep it easy, but you can just see the raw emotion of, this is a man that's been, I guess, let's see, Alexia Berrier came in after 111 days, and that was on the 28th, since now the 3rd, so he's basically been 116 days at sea now, probably 2 more, so when he actually finishes, it's going to be 118, 119 days at sea. Boggles the mind, right? That's a really, really long time to be so isolated and so, alone on what is ultimately a really, really small boat. So it just kind of puts in perspective again the monumental achievement that it is to finish this race, and especially kind of how he says that it's still not going to be easy, even though he's almost in the Bay of Biscay now, arguably the final last stretches of the race, only 48 hours to go. Still, I can imagine that that's still some of the hardest sailing maybe they'll ever do in his life, being that fatigued, everything being that tough. But I think he's nursed his boat through the race in an amazing way, and I'm sure he will have a beautiful finish. Of course, also came in, because the last time that I did the show was, of course, when Pip and Medalia came in. I'm working with the team, by the way, to do a really cool interview with Pip at some point also, but I really want to do something very in-depth, really sit down with her, really get into, you know, everything about how she experienced the Vendee Globe. So working on that. Look forward to that at some point. But after she came in, we had, of course, Adida Costa, we had Clement Gerard, we had Miranda Marin, Emmanuel Cosin, and Alexa Barrier come in, and also Isabel Joschke and Sam Davis, who, of course, didn't, you know, officially finish the race, but you know, unofficially, of course, did finish and brought their Imocas back also. And so, yeah, we'll wait for the actual last finish of Ari Huusela also to come in, and we'll have a little, I think, look back celebration also with the Sea Wolves, with a bit of a retrospective of the whole works. And I think we'll also get into the statistics of the race and kind of look at, you know, the lessons learned from the entire experience after really the last vessel has come home. And yeah, so that's kind of what I want to talk about as far as the Vendee Globe goes today. Then, of course, the big race that's going on right now, the America's Cup, has had a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns so far. Now there is another, I think, one actually COVID case in New Zealand, in that area, but they have such a, you know, kind of very, very super hard lockdown. So now the race is postponed for an extra 4 days so far. Look like it's probably going to start, but, you know, of course, with this type of rules in place, you never really know for sure. So I hope it will start. They did, all the boats did put in their last kind of, they call it a declaration, where they have to kind of commit to the final setup, the final, you know, measurement, the final boat that they're actually going to enter into the race. So that's done now, both for team Emirates New. So both Team New Zealand and the Team Luna Rossa have both kind of put their final boat out there. They can't change anything anymore. They have the final setup there to enter the final race, and now all they have left is, you know, training and just trying to find any edges they still can before the first race. And I'm really looking forward to how this whole thing is going to develop. It will only be, of course, in the first race that we can really see the final matchup. Of course, I did the in-depth interview here a while back with Luna Rossa, talking about all the different details, and I think that the boats are really quite different. The New Zealand design, because they were the ones that actually created this particular rule, also, as always in an America's Cup, it exploits the rules perhaps a little bit better than the other teams were able to, especially the combination of their kind of very hollow hull shape with the mainsail kind of really inside the shape of the hull. As I understand it, it also actually enlarges their active sail area a little bit, the way that it is positioned. So there are some arguments to be made that, as far as the rules go, the New Zealanders really have taken that traditional advantage that, you know, the defender always has within the America's Cup Challenge. On the other hand, you know, we've all seen the incredible transformation that all of the teams went through the Christmas race, the Prada Cup, and how Luna Rossa has really held its own, and especially with the finale of the Prada Cup, the way how it really didn't finally turn out to be, you know, so much the speed or the agility, but really the combination of the two and the intense strategic pressure play that Luna Rossa has, you know, really kind of perfected, and really showed their absolute command of the situation, of controlling that battle with Ineos UK at all times, where I believe that speed-wise Ineos definitely would have been up to it, but just strategically they just weren't able to kind of shoot a hole in the very strong strategic armor that Luna Rossa kept up throughout kind of the races, which I thought was very, very interesting. And so for my mind, that's also what I think will be the biggest battle in the America's Cup. So we've seen the speed, we've seen the agility of the boats. Now that, you know, if we assume that New Zealand and the Italian Team Luna Rossa are both, you know, in the 5% optimal performance range, let's say, and will be there throughout the challenge. And I think that the boats speed-wise are going to be closely comparable with maybe a slight speed edge still for the New Zealanders. But I think ultimately that speed edge will not be enough, and it will come down to those very hard defensive tactics that we saw Luna Rossa employ so well in the Prada Cup. And so from my mind, that is also where the victory is going to lie. So I'm more going to be looking at the strategic battle, let's say, on the water during the race, and just good guardsmanship and making sure that the New Zealanders just cannot capitalize on any opportunities, cannot capitalize on perhaps that little extra speed that they have, where Luna Rossa is just going to be trying to control the situation. But it'll be interesting to see how New Zealand will respond to that particular part of the race, because that is really the one thing that we have seen them that we haven't seen them do at all. We never got with the New Zealanders to the point in the races where that strategy really started to matter. When they were racing in the Christmas Cup, it was still all about the fastest boat just wins the race. We still saw 1 minute deficits between the winner and the loser at that point. That really close strategic battle just wasn't there yet. And so although they have of course lots of practice with their practice boats and stuff, that will be very interesting to see how that will start up in the initial battle there. So that's it for the America's Cup. I guess we have 8 days in total still to wait for the start, if all things go well with the Corona situation in New Zealand. So all we can do is wait and see. Then I kind of wanted to look a little bit forward to some other races, because there is of course, the season is starting up now, the summer is starting up. I actually myself should have been in Greece right now, starting actually probably today, yeah, the 3rd of March. I should have started in the class 40 in the Greek Hydra regatta, but unfortunately that was cancelled due to Corona. But we have a really cool class 40 kind of team together, which I was really looking forward to also share the whole experience here on Seawolves. But I guess that'll still have to wait a little bit. But no worries, we are going to have some fun in the class 40 at some point, and I'm going to share all of that, the training, the strategy, all of that with you here on Seawolves. But that was unfortunately cancelled. And it's not the only race. That was not an official class 40 race, of course. But if we look at the class 40 schedule, we see that so January, the Transat de Work was cancelled, the Pineapple Cup was cancelled, the Caribbean 600 was cancelled, La Voiles de Saint-Bar Richard Mille was cancelled. We have several other races coming up. The 30th of May, the Normandy Channel race now is the first one in the agenda, and I guess also the Armen race. So far, no news, nothing definitive over what is going to happen there, but at least the first 4 races in the class 40 unfortunately cancelled due to the Corona problems. We have of course, what I'm kind of intensely busy with, the Europe race. So the ocean race, where we have the Imoca class actually from the Vendee, and the former Volvo 65, now the Ocean 65 class, battling each other in a round the world challenge, but not continuously, but in several legs. Now the official ocean race has been postponed to 2020, 2023, but this year the association has created kind of a separate event in order to keep the racing going, which is going to be the Europe race, and that is actually going to start pretty fast. So the prologue to that is, let me check that up here, is going to start in Claypadia actually on the beginning of May. So we have about a month and a half to go with the Volvo 65 Childhood. Will also be preparing in that, and so our sailing with them is also kind of part of their starting up again. The boat's going in the water in a week and a half now, which I will also film. So I'll be there when the boat actually goes into the water, and we'll do a little report on kind of the initial startup of that whole Volvo 65 kind of racing season and everything that entails with the team. But that is going to be a really, really cool race. Looks like it's going to be 4 legs, but this is still a little bit in motion. And a prologue also, where the boats are going to be racing between different European countries, ending in the end in Genoa, so in Italy, which is going to be a really cool race. And so both Volvo 65 and the Imocas will be racing there. I don't know which Imoca teams so far are actually entering the race. No real news on that yet, but I'm trying for the next installment to kind of give a bit an overview of which teams are going to be participating in these bigger races, so that you have a bit more of an overview, and we can kind of look forward to that, maybe approach some of the teams and sort of get the conversation talking a bit more in-depthly about what it takes to kind of, especially in these kind of strange COVID times, to get onto those races and different things that are going on there. But so that is at least something that we have to look forward to. By the end of April, beginning of May, we'll have the Europe race. Then of course we have the Sydney Hobart, which is also still the Sydney Hobart. So the previous one, 2020, was cancelled, and there were a lot of you who asked me, like, please cover the Sydney Hobart while the Vendee Globe just started, and I was fully looking forward to actually covering that, but unfortunately that got cancelled. However, so far the countdown clock is now back on the site again. It's a little bit a year still from the next race, 297 days, but so far so good. And so at least the race organization of the Sydney Hobart is looking forward to do the race again this year, and if it happens, I'm definitely going to try to actually be there in person with Seawolves, and maybe participate on the media side with one of the teams there to really be involved, because I think that's also a really beautiful race to cover. And then of course we have the Fastnet coming also this season, which is also looks to be on schedule. So far looks like the 8th of August, so still far away in the aft season, but it is a really cool race, and we're definitely also going to see the Imoca class participate there also. And I think that Pip Hare also declared that she will be racing there again, so I will again see with some of the teams if I can interface and actually participate somehow from the media side in those races as well. And so in that sense, even though a lot of things got cancelled, and on the local level many small weekend races and stuff not happening right now, because in most countries those type of crowds are just not allowed. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a strange season, but there's still plenty of fun sailing races to be had and to look forward to. And so personally, I'm really looking forward to the Europe race, which we're also going to be very kind of involved with the childhood team, both with our event with Seawolves, of course, in April, which is still totally on, so that's super cool. But also as we're moving more into the inside also on the race, I hope to do some really cool, maybe even some onboard reporting back from there. So that's going to be really a lot of fun. Yeah, so 1.5 weeks more before childhood is going back in the water again. I'll be there also when it happens, so expect some reporting there as we put all of the technology and the measures and the clocks and all this stuff back on board. I'm going to be filming all of that, so that you're going to get a really cool kind of onboard view of kind of what happens in a team as they kind of prepare for the races, and as the prologue comes, and then as the boat has to be moved, and all the different kind of things that kind of go into it, which I think will be really interesting and cool to share with you guys. And yeah, as far as Seawolf activities, so I was looking at the summer to kind of find some cool location where we can all meet, apart from of course the V65 event. Several of you have who have both, several Seawolves I should say, who have, some of you, very cool boats in the Caribbean, had already approached me kind of with options that I could stay on board with them, or and with some very cool suggestions in the Caribbean where we could meet with a nice number of Seawolves, and maybe kind of organize a nice little local regatta to just have some fun with. I'm totally open to that, so if you have some suggestions, please just email me at contact@seawolvestv.com. And And there are some conversations going there. I think it would be really cool to do that. Something that I'm also working on is to set up for this particular summer, because many of us are sort of forced to solo sail, and the interaction, let's say, with other people is a little bit less because of the whole situation that the world is right now in. I was thinking about maybe setting up a nice kind of list of different sailing challenges, mainly towards solo sailing, because that's kind of makes it more of a sporting event, and it's kind of the Seawolf TV DNA also. So I talked to some of you guys online and in the chat about setting up maybe 1,000 nautical mile challenge. So 1,000 nautical miles really isn't that much. I mean, if you're a bit of an avid sailor, you'll definitely you can definitely sail that in the summer quite easily if you want to, but it's still kind of sort of a milestone. So I thought it would be cool if we find some way that we can have people prove that they sailed 1,000 miles this year solo, and that we can do like sort of a ranking or an announcement on the website of everybody who kind of completed the Seawolf's 1,000 mile challenge. Also, I'm kind of thinking that it would be really cool to have some of your local knowledge of your local areas. Like if there's a cool island that you can round in your local area, or a particular trip that's kind of like in Holland, for example, we have our geography is so that we have a group of islands in the north, and we have a channel more in the south that actually goes through Amsterdam, which kind of form a circle. So you could do kind of a circuit which goes from Amsterdam up towards the islands and then back over the sea through, which is a really nice sailing circuit. I must have done it, I don't know, 30 times or something so far. And but it's a really cool circuit. It takes about 3 days to do or something. Very, very nice, very different sailing. Semi-small lake to very big lake to rough North Seas. So this type of things, and maybe we can find some kind of way to put that on a list on the website and have people complete these different challenges. Just saying that it would be very nice to kind of all work together as Seawolves to find interesting challenges and locations and stuff. So I'm working with several people talking about how we can create maybe an app or something on the website to kind of motivate us all to go out there and do interesting solo sailing challenges, both geographically, but also technically, like do this or do that or try this, in order to push us all to be better sailors and try different things. So then finally, what I've kind of been up to over the last 2 weeks. So like I said, the whole vlogging every day, I'm a person who's very aware of anything that kind of acts in an addictive way in my life. Not that I'm an addict, actually the opposite. And I kind of always try to stay away from anything that starts to pull my life really in one direction too much. And so that was starting to happen a little bit with Seawolves. And so I felt just kind of intuitively as the race was stopping, this kind of need, like, oh no, I need to find something out, and this kind of, feeling that I had to like sort of continue it, not because there was just something nice that I wanted to report about, which was the Vendee Globe, but just to kind of keep whatever this was going in the same way. And I kind of identified it as not really maybe a healthy, like a logical result of what I was doing and how well the show is running, but not necessarily something good in the long term. So I just wanted to take a little bit of a step back and just kind of let things rest a little bit, so that I can look at it with fresh eyes and say, hey, this is the cool stuff about this. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to take Seawolves in the future. And I think that I have a good idea on that now. I'm very happy to see your enthusiasm for the solo series, which has been doing super well so far. Next episode coming soon. But that brings me to the other thing that I've been doing over the last, 4 weeks now. So you all know that I took my boat on the hard about 4 weeks ago with the plan to have it back in the water about 2 weeks later. That is 2 weeks ago now, and as all you boat owners know, when you slay a dragon, it always grows back 2 heads. And so whenever you take your boat out of the water for some, not really minor things, but for like a sizable project, let's say, which it was in my case, you're always going to find several unexpected things that it's just kind of better to take care of them while the boat is out of the water than to, you know, wait another year or wait till you have to, you know, deal with it mid-season or whatever. So I decided to just put some of my focus also there and make sure that, you know, all the different projects there get the attention that they need. And, you know, a lot of sanding work, a lot of technical work. My new autopilot install is almost finished. I'm filming a lot of it so that will come back in the solo series at a later point. This is not really a DIY sailing channel, but some cool updates coming from there also. And basically I think I need 2 weeks more to get my boat ready to go back in the water again. And that's also the point where I'll be able to start to make the next episodes of Solo, because we kind of really covered the intellectual, technical part so far in the first 3 episodes, which I'm super proud of. I think it worked really well. I read all your comments and I think we're on the right track with creating this series. But the next part is really going to be the actual sailing in action, and I think that needs to be filmed on the boat while I'm actually sailing, so I can really explain all those principles while ongoing in the best way possible. I've been really practicing my drone skills also in order to that, and that's going pretty well. Learning to land by hand and everything. Now just the big question is, can I also do it when actually solo sailing? But I have some great other YouTubers with a lot of experience helping me on that a little bit with technique and tips and stuff. So working my way up on those kind of things, and that's basically you know, what I've kind of been up to. And so from now on, the Seawolves show I'm going to try to make every Friday. So instead of doing a daily thing, which is just doesn't really make sense to do that when there isn't a major race on, and when there is a major race on, it will be daily. So basically now in the intermediate, when there isn't, you know, a big race going on, or a race that's really an adventure race that's going on every day, like the America's Cup for example, I will do updates every Friday. So it will be a Friday or Saturday show. I'm still going to sort of test, you know, what works the best. So maybe let me know in the comments if you would like it to be, you know, like Friday evening, or, you know, Saturday morning, for example, Saturday evening, what you would prefer to have kind of the publishing day and time be. It'd be interesting to hear your opinions on that. And so that'll be the basis. So we have a weekly fun show where I try to put all the relevant sailing news from all over the world and all the different things going on in that particular race. And also we'll start to include some of your boats videos. And in the summer with some of my friends, we have some cool items also that we're going to film also as part of boats with more reviews of new models and things like that. But so it's going to be a Friday show. And then whenever there's something relevant, I'm just going to kind of throw it in, like, hey, this happened and you need to know about it right now. And I think that that will be the best way to kind of bring forth more. And yeah, also really made friends with a lot of you know, drone pilot, some cool publishers and journalists and all this type of people that I didn't know before. And, you know, looking to have them also contribute with separate articles and maybe also some videos in the future and things like that. So, you know, trying to grow Seawolves beyond just me doing this, and more kind of getting the team involved as, you know, the things that we can do and the opportunities that we have become more and more interesting. So yeah, that's it for the show today. Thank you all very much for joining again. I hope you enjoyed the toast today. Just delicious. And yeah, I say, you know, keep supporting. Thank you all for the fact that, you know, over the last 2 weeks, no show, but your support has been going just as strong with the hoodies, with the different products that we have on the website, and your you know, your comments and advice and emails. So just keep it coming. I'm very much looking forward to the next episode. Of course, as the product cup comes, I'll be back. And I think so this Friday, when Ari actually finishes, we'll do a final show on the Vendee Globe with a bit of a retrospective of you know, all of the different things that we went through over the last months of the Vendee Globe. So again, thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, and please give this video especially a like, because it's very important to know for the YouTube gods that we're starting up again. So like that video, and I'll see you all hopefully on Friday. Ciao, have a nice day.